Hey guys, I hope you're doing amazing today. In this video, I'm going to show you how to master blueprint communication in Unreal 5, so you can be one step closer to making your game. If you stick to the end, I'm going to share with you 3 tips that can make your life easier in blueprints. So let's get into it. So let's get started. First, what we need is a blueprint actor. So go to blueprint class and create an actor. We can name this BP communication 01. So we have our actor. Here inside the actor we need a few things first. So first, the idea of the whole thing is to have a place where we step and then this cube will explode and disappear, and after we move back from the cube that we will step on, the cube that disappeared will appear again. So how do we do this? So obviously we need first the stepping platform. Let's just get a cube. We need just a cube, or maybe a plane. No, a cube. Let's go with the cube and let's scale the cube so it's like this, and scale it a bit to be a bit wider. So next thing we need is a collision. So go to Alt and type collision, and we can do we can do box collision. So this will be our collision, and basically it needs to be the same size as the box. So we can just do this, copy and paste, and now just scale this. So maybe we need to actually scale it a bit more in X and Y dimensions, so like this. So when we enter this collision, this cube here will explode and disappear. So let's get going. First, in the event graph, we need on this box, just let's rename this to collision. So when we step into this, or rather what we can do is select this collision and scroll down, and on begin overlap, so we can just create event on begin overlap. What we want is for this cube to disappear. So how are we going to make the communication between this blueprint and this cube? It's very simple. First, we can create a variable, and this variable will be destroyed cube. So this will be our destroyed cube. So in here, in variable type, just type actor, and let's just select this, and after that make this instance editable. So get this actor, so this is the cube that we need, and on this after we step on it, just should we do a delay? Maybe a delay. Let's do a delay, and let's have like 5 seconds, 0.5 seconds, sorry. And then with this cube we can do set actor hidden in game, or let's do visibility, or okay, set actor hidden in game, and do this newly hidden. And let's get our other event, which is component end overlap. So this will be when we exit this collision, sorry. When we exit this collision, what we want is actually for this cube to appear again, and I don't need the delay, so I'm going to do this and disable this boolean. So now we have the whole disappearing, and now I also want to have a VFX. For example, let's have this one here. Maybe not add particle system component, but spawn emitter at location. So this is our location here, not location, this is our emitter, and let's just add it from here, select it in the content browser and press this arrow icon. So now we're going to spawn this emitter. Next, let's attach this like this, attach everything, and we need a location. So because I spawned emitter at location, we're going to get this destroyed cube location, and we can just drag and get location, and here auto destroy. We need auto destroy because after the emitter is done, it needs to be destroyed. So this is everything that we need for the logic. So after we get into this cube collision, we're going to wait 0.5 seconds, spawn this explosion, and set this cube hidden. So now how do we connect this variable here with this cube? So this is the actual communication, right? So let's just first put this cube here, and this is our blueprint. I just drag and drop it, and now let me delete this one, I don't need it. Let's compile and save, and now if we select this actor in the game, this is our blueprint, you see that we have this destroyed cube here. So if I select this cube, I can see is the name is chamfer cube 8. So all I need to do is search for cube 8, and why are they two? Probably because one is 18. Let's see, cube 8. SM, let's try, or what we can do is like this. No, we cannot do that. Okay, so let's try, let's pick it like this. So now we have it here. That way we connect this cube to our blueprint, and now if I play the game, let me minimize this. If I play the game and I come here, it disappears, and if I come back, it appears again. We have the delay, and now we have this cube here. We can destroy it anytime. We can actually have, like, for example, oops, sorry. We can have like this. We can scale the explosion and also move it a bit up, let's say 20 units. I'm not sure if that's that will be enough or not, and let's delay it with just 0.2 seconds. So this is a way to actually communicate with any actor in the game. So the thing that you need to do is just create a variable, get the variable type to actor, and then make sure it's instance editable. This means that we can see it here. For example, if I remove this and compile, now if we select this, it disappears. It's not here. So once I do instance editable and compile again, it appears again, and we can pick it again. And so we can actually pick any object. And let me show you another thing. If I do array, for example, and I change the variable, what I'm going to do right now is, for example, if you want to destroy more than one actor, for example, you want to destroy these 4 actors here. So what you can do is turn this to an array, the same way I did, like it was single. I'm not gonna change it, but just turn it to array and disable this. And now we can actually do for each loop and just get this array here and make sure it's instantiatable again, and loop body, spawn emitter at location and set hidden. So now we can do again, we actually need to get the location from here, array element. I already have the denote. So now we have destroy cube. So yeah, the same thing I need to do with here. So connect loop body and just we can do this target. So because it's getting all the elements from this array from here, it loops through all of them and destroys all of them. So it goes through all of the elements inside this array and destroys them. Now, if you see here, we have the default destroy cube. Also, we can actually do this. We can get this variable and put it into its own category. We can call it destroyed actors. So now this here will be named destroyed actors. So let's do like 4 and pick this one, this one, and finally this one. And now if we play the game, okay, they are not destroyed. I picked something. I did something else. So yeah, destroy actor hidden in game. Yeah. So what we need to do is also connect it like this, right? And yeah, newly hidden. Okay. So now if we play the game, they all get destroyed and it's very satisfying. Okay, so this is the first way to have Blueprint communicate with any object in the scene. So next, I'm going to show you how to communicate from Blueprint to another Blueprint in the level using the same method, as we are going to pick an actor that it's a Blueprint inside the level. So let's get into it. First, I'm going to copy this Blueprint here, because we're using the same platform, and just let's place it in the level. So if we open it, and now we don't need any of these things, so compile and save. Next we will need another Blueprint, right? So let's create that Blueprint. Go to Blueprint, actor, and let's name this BP underscore spinning cube. So the idea here is to actually, when we stand on this platform here, we will have a cube that is going to be spinning in here. So let's add the cube here, and we have our cube. So now what do we need? We have 2 different events, one when we step and one when we step out. So we need 2 different functions here. So let's create one that's called spinning and one that's called stop spinning. So how are we going to do this? How are we going to make the cube rotate? It's very simple actually. If we get the cube, get it here and do add relative rotation and connect it to the tick event, change the z-axis to 1 because we want to rotate around the z-axis, compile, save, and now if we play it in the level, you will see the cube is rotating. Now what we need to create is the logic of this cube needs to rotate only when we step here. So how are we going to do that? Before we get into that actually, we need to create a variable, or rather use this one. So we created this BP underscore spinning cube, and it's a blueprint here. So let me show you something cool. If you go to the variable here and choose variable type and type BP underscore spinning cube, and you can see it here. Select this, make sure it's single actor and instance editable. So compile this, save, and now if we go and select this blueprint communication 02 and we pick from the scene and we pick this cube, now we have it connected. Just the same way we had these array elements, all these cubes connected to this platform blueprint. Now we have this platform blueprint connected to this cube. So if you go to pick actor from scene and you try to pick anything else, nothing will happen. You won't be able to pick anything, only this cube. That's because this cube is of type, the same type that we placed here, right? BP spinning cube, and it is this cube that we created. So any actor that you place from this blueprint in your scene like this, now you can select these actors and these actors only. So let's destroy them, I don't need them. And now go here. So what do we need here? Go to this, get this actor, get this variable, the destroyed cube variable, and what we need is the function that we created. It's spinning, so we need the spinning function when we begin overlap. So okay, and we need the stop spinning. Again, these are the functions that we created in the spinning cube blueprint, and we are getting them from this variable because this variable is connected here to this cube, to this blueprint. So now stop spinning. However, nothing will happen because these functions in the spinning cube blueprint doesn't do anything. So how can we first make sure that when we play the game, the cube is not rotating? This is very easy. So first we can create another variable and call it spin. This is a boolean variable, and if we get it into the world, you see it's red. And now if we do this and get branch, this is basically an if statement. So if we connect it to true, it will spin. So if this variable is true, it will spin. If it's false, it won't spin. So if right now is false, and if I save, play the game, the cube won't spin. So we achieved what we need. The cube won't spin. However, we need to make it spin, right? How do we make it spin? Go to the spinning function and again get this variable, but this time use set. We need to set it to true, and when it stops, just copy it, and when it stops spinning function, when this stop spinning function is triggered, this will be false. So now let me show you. If we do this, the cube will spin, and if we get out, the cube won't spin anymore. And this happens because again we have these two functions. One enables this variable, so this variable becomes true when the spinning function is triggered, and the spinning function is triggered when we have the collision. So it's pretty simple. And now we have a spinning cube. It's pretty simple and easy, and I hope you understand it. If you don't, you can watch the video again, and make sure you try this yourself as well. Make sure you do this and experiment. But yeah, so let's move to the next one. The next thing I'm going to show you, it's actually pretty simple. So we are going to use the same blueprint that we used here. And what I want to show you is what if you have, for example, a lot of cubes, many cubes, and they are all around the level, right? And you don't want to do it like this. You don't want to select every single one individually, but you just want all the cubes in the level to spin. So how can we do this? So if we go to the blueprint communication blueprint 2, and actually we need to go to the spinning cube here. We can actually do something very simple, is go to the cube. This is sorry, we actually don't need to do anything with this cube. Get all actors of class. So now if we go if we do this connected here, and if we select actor class, select class, and we just type bp underscore spinning cube. So now what we can do is go through again loop for each loop and execute, and now we can connect this, and instead of putting the cube from here, sorry, we actually need to get cube, because we need to go through all the actors in the scene of this class, of this blueprint class, and get their cube, because if we just get this cube, nothing will happen. So get cube, or maybe it will actually, I don't know. Save, and now if we minimize and play the level, all the cubes in the scene rotate. So this is a way to actually control every single actor which is of this class here, the spinning cube blueprint class. As you see, if you hover on it, you can see on top of it, it says blueprint class next to the name. So this is a class, a blueprint class, and we can actually select, oops, sorry, not this one. We can select the blueprint, get all actors of this class, and we can select this class, and all the cubes, all the actors in the scene will have this functionality. So it's pretty simple, and yeah, this is what I also wanted to show you. So let's get to the next thing. So next I'm going to show you how to communicate between two blueprints using event dispatchers. The idea this time is to have a platform on which when we step, we're going to spawn a cube in the air. So let's get started. First, again, duplicate this blueprint and then create another blueprint. We will call this blueprint bp underscore spawn cube. Now let's place this into the level. Let's do something here, and now go to the spawn cube blueprint, and in event let's create a function, or rather let's create an event. Oops, sorry, not the tick event. Go to event, custom event, spawning cube, and with this, in this event we're going to spawn our cube. So how do you spawn anything in the world? Actually, You can do it two ways. If you need to spawn a blueprint, there is another way, but for the time being we actually need to spawn a mesh. So go to grab any mesh. In our case we're going to grab a cube. If you have the starter content enabled, just go to content, starter content and shapes and get this cube and just drag and drop it here in the blueprint, in the spawn cube blueprint. And as you see, it's called add static mesh component. So connect this, and to make it a bit more fun, let's simulate physics. So this mesh will have some physics. And now if we want to, for example, let me show you what it will do first. So let's get to begin play and spawn cube. So this will call this event the moment we begin play. So save, and if we play, you see the cube is spawned. Now we need to make it so it is spawned with event dispatcher, right? That's our goal. So go to bp underscore communication 03 that we duplicated. We won't be needing any of this, and let's just create event dispatchers. But first, why do we need event dispatcher to begin with? So we need it because we have an event here, and we need this event to trigger only if another event from another blueprint is triggered. And we can do this by just creating event dispatcher here and call it spawn a cube. Oops, cube, not cube. Spawn a cube. And this event dispatcher right now, we can just call it. So we're going to call this event dispatcher every time the player overlaps this collision, right? And now we need to actually use this event dispatcher in this blueprint here. So how do we use that? First, we need to create a variable and call it bp underscore communication. And this thing, as we did before, we need to change the variable type, but this time we're going to change it to blueprint communication 3. So object reference, and now from here again we can get the event dispatcher, and we need to bind it. Bind spawn a cube. And now when we begin play, we can bind this function spawning a cube into this event dispatcher. So this way the blueprint won't be checking all the time if this function is triggered or not. It will be checking it only if only this event dispatcher is called, and this event dispatcher is called only when we enter this collision. This way, however, we need to bind it before we call it. So that's why we bind it to this. We bind this function, not function. Sorry, we bind this event to to the event dispatcher, and we get the event dispatcher again from this variable that is of type bp underscore communication underscore 03. And this way, now actually the most important step, because this won't work, we need to make it again instance editable. And now finally, if we select this actor now and pick our platform blueprint communication blueprint, and we have it again bind here the same way we did with this, but this time we do it on this blueprint. So let's play the game and see what happens. If we step, we spawn a cube. If we step again, we spawn again and again, and you can spawn, and look what happens now, and it's fun. So yeah, this is our event dispatcher. So I hope you understand this, and this can be used in variety of situations, and play around with it. Just use it and play around with it. Follow this tutorial and use all of the things I taught you in this tutorial, and use them and just experiment, create different things and have fun. The most important thing is to have fun when you are learning. So make it fun, experiment, and that way you're gonna learn a lot more, really a lot more. Next, I'm going to show you how to communicate between blueprints using blueprint interface. So first, let's create our blueprint interface. So go to blueprints, blueprint interface, and call it activate. And now we have a blueprint interface. If we open it, here you will notice that we have a function. So let's rename this to activate. And now here it works like a normal blueprint. However, this will be an empty function. So you can actually add inputs and outputs as well. And if you need anything, you can add it like this. But let me delete this. I don't need, I actually don't need, let me Control Z. We don't need any outputs. So this is all we need, an empty function. And why do we need this function? So this blueprint interface is used when you actually want to have one function to have different functionality based on which blueprint it is used on. So this is an empty function that we can call from one blueprint, and it will have different functionality to the other blueprints. So let me actually show you. It would be a lot easier. So for example, let's open our spawn cube here, right? And let's go to class settings, and here in interface we can add an interface, and we have it on top, but you can just type your name, the name of the interface that you created, but I can just select it, and now we have it here in interfaces. So this is a simple function. So what can we do is just implement as an event. Right click and implement as an event, and now you have an event. And you can actually just do this and just bind it again. However, I'm going to do it separately. So just create this again, and this is the spawning cube that we did the last time. And this activate blueprint interface, in this blueprint will have the functionality to spawn a cube. However, what if we do the spinning cube? So let's do the same here. Class settings, add blueprint interface, activate, and then here let's compile, create implement event, and now we can implement this event. So previously, when in this one we needed to set spin to spinning, right? So let's just do that. Let's get this and set it to spinning. So but this one we actually need flip-flop. We need flip-flop because we can use only one event. We cannot use two. Here we use two, right? And with the flip-flop, once it's activated once, the first time it's activated, A, it will set the spin to true, and if we activate it again, if we set it to false. So far so good, right? Now what we can do is we need to create, of course, another blueprint communication. So just duplicate this one, and let's get our spawn cube and spinning cube in the scene, right? Maybe here, and get this blueprint communication as well. Let's do like this and push together. And now let's open this one that we just created, and here, instead of event dispatchers, all we need to do, we create a variable that's going to be called activate actors, and this one must be a variable type of actor. So just type actor and select object reference, so get actors. And now what we need to do is just type activate and search for this one, which is activate with message at the end. This is our blueprint interface. We named it activate. So now we just do this, connect it to here, and of course again instance editable, like we already did for all other blueprints that we did so far. And here, guess what we're gonna do? We're gonna select these two actors. So right now we have one trigger and two different blueprints, and each of these two blueprints have different functions, but we call it with just one name, and that name is activate, the one that we created for blueprint interface. This is our blueprint interface, the empty function. So here we spawn a mesh, and in the spinning cube we activate the spin. So we have two different functionality, and you can do this for like 1,000 different blueprints. So now if we play, hopefully, yeah, okay, so it triggered, but but the thing is, I think I did it on end overlap, so I actually need to do it in overlap. And let's do this, do it here as well, because what we need to do for the flip flop is to set it to 0, right? To not 0 but false. So if we now do this, however, when we exit, we spawn the cube. And to combat that, to actually make it so we don't spawn the cube, what we can do is do a flip-flop here as well. Flip-flop, and just the B won't do anything. And now, if we go here, the cube stops, but we don't spawn another one. And again, and again. So this is how you use blueprint interfaces. It's pretty fun. Okay. So we have this cube spinning for some reason. Did I bug it out with because these guys activated it here. Okay, so this is how you do it. This is how you use Blueprint interface. This is the end of the video, and as I promised, I'm going to show you 3 tricks that you can use in Unreal in Blueprints. So these things can make your life a bit more easier and make your work a bit more faster. So one of them is a very simple one, and it can be useful in some situations. So did you know that if you zoom, you have a maximum amount of zoom that you can do? However, if you press and hold Ctrl and then zoom, you can zoom even more. So this way you can zoom even more. It can be useful at times. The next one is very simple but very effective. As you see, this one is a boolean. So if you want to actually create a variable, you go here and create a boolean and rename it and so on. However, what you can do is just drag and just drop it here and promote variable, and you have a variable. And you can do this with any of the pins, and even with this one you can create a lot of variables. So it's a lot faster and a lot more comfortable, at least for me. So the next one is, if again it is concerned with variables, so let's get this boolean, or rather let's just get this one, get, and in case you need to use the valid node, is valid, if you want to check if it's valid or not, or rather is valid here, you can use it like this. So you can just use this node, right, and do execute. Here you need to connect it and so on, and that way you check if this is valid and then proceed. If not, you do something else. However, there is another way to do this a bit faster. If you select this get variable, so remember it works with get, so if you right click on this and go to convert to validate get, now you have this, which is a lot more faster. You just drop it here, convert to get, and you have one node instead of all these things, and it looks a lot better, and it saves you some space and maybe some time. So these are the 3 tips I wanted to share with you today. If you enjoyed this video and learned something today, please like this video. And if you want to learn more about Unreal 5 and more about blueprints and other things that helps you create a game, please subscribe to my channel. I'm going to post more videos, and I'm working on a course that goes through everything that you need to create a game, from blueprints to materials to lighting to absolutely everything you need to create a game in Unreal 5. So this is for me for today and for this video, and thank you so much for watching and staying until the end, and I hope I see you next time. Have a great day and bye guys.